Welcome to today's video. I will be working on completing my reading journal setup for February, but before I can get to that part of the video, I am quickly gathering all the markers, pens, and anything else I will be using for this setup. I enjoyed making the spreads for this month and using different styles for certain spreads and coming up with the theme that I did. Cutting the wick of the candle is tricky for me to do. That's why I keep opening and closing the cutter like I am. I am not sure if the difficulty is because of the wick cutter I have, or if it's how I hold it. And now with the candle lit, the intro is out of the way, so let's begin the setup. The cover page, as always, is the first spread that I work on. I have on the left a drawing and on the right the title of the month. For this month, the theme is roses or flowers. I wanted red for this month and I'm trying to get better at drawing, so I chose roses since I've never really drawn them and they seem kind of difficult in terms of drawing for me. As you can see, I did a lot of sketching in pencil before I started going over it with pen like I'm doing right now. If they don't look like roses, then they're just flowers, not a specific type of flower. I'm not sure if they do look like roses, and if they don't, well, again, it's just flowers. For colors, I am keeping it simple with only red and pink toned markers for the flowers, and green markers for the stem and leaves. Trying to keep it simple since I will be drawing out a lot this time around, and I have to color in each of the roses. Next up is February Books, where I write down all the books that I finished reading for this month. It helps having a specific place to see all the books I read clearly. I made vines to contain the area that I can write in. They were very quick to make. The candle finished, so I'm going to get rid of it, and it did not last as long as I thought it would, but that's completely fine. Quotes is for writing down anything that I found interesting, funny, or motivational from the books that I have read this month. It's fun to look back at the quotes that I write here at the end of the month or at any time in general. Before I start, I got another candle because I like having a candle when I do my setups. It sets the journaling mood for me. Now, reading journal is to track books that I am reading and monitoring when I finish them, how many pages or minutes each day I read, or when I do not finish a book. I don't think it was my best idea to trace it in pen and then color in the roses with marker. This is taking a long time and is why this video is as long as it is. On the left side, I have a calendar that's for writing down how many pages or minutes I read a day. Sometimes I can have a specific day completely filled, or it can be blank since I did not read anything that day. It's always changing. Seeing when I read and when I didn't is another reason that I like using this tracker. I cut out a second page for this because I wanted the calendar to be slightly bigger. And depending on how this works for this month, I might continue using this calendar size or make it smaller or bigger the following month. Then the back of this I use for the color coding system. That's where I assign a color to a book and then use that color to track how much I read of that specific book. I like including cut out pages whenever I can in a setup that I make. Getting to flip the pages within the journal is so entertaining for me, and I like to add these whenever I can, even though I end up using more pages for my setup because of it. And cutting out pages, it can be a hassle because the scissors, it's sometimes tricky for it to cut in a specific place on the sides, and then I am not 100% sure how I'm supposed to cut out, detach from the pages, but I still love doing it. Then on the right side is where I write down the books that I am reading. I have it in a table that includes when I start and finish the book, the genre, and the rating that I gave it after I finished it. Last month I added a second page to this, and this month I am continuing that. I'm not sure if the table is too big, and I'll see how this works for me this month and then make any changes accordingly the next month. But I added a second page because I have run out of space in the table before, and I rather have more space available rather than too little and end up not knowing what to do. I sometimes read books that are short. I can finish them pretty quickly, and that ends up taking space in my table, and that's why I end up running out of space. Overview is next up, and that's the overall book statistics for February. I like looking at statistics on how my reading habits are each month. Here specifically, I made circles for a pie chart to manage format, genre, and rating. Genre is how many of the books read are a specific genre, and seeing if there is a genre that I specifically prefer over the others. Then rating is to see how I rate books. Do I rate high or low? What's the average? Looking at the pie charts now, I think I made them too big, but that's okay. I will use it for this month, and if I end up not liking the circle size when I do end up adding the information to it, I can make a note of that and change it for the coming month. Format, I am not sure is the correct word to use, but it's for the format I had for the book, ebook, audiobook, or physical book I read. I have started wanting to read more physical books over ebooks because I noticed that between ebooks to physical books, I significantly prefer ebooks to physical books, and I wanted to change that. I also included a table to track how many books I finished to the books that I did not finish and will not finish because I didn't like them. Then lastly is the cutout page, which on the front is the book that I liked most this month, and on the back is the book that I liked least this month. lastly is reading notes. This is for writing down any notes I have for a book that I'm reading. They can be positive or negative notes, things that I wanted to remember from a book or a place that was mentioned that I want to look into, anything that I found intriguing from what I'm reading. I read down here. This can also be used to write down where I think the plot is going to go and then check back later and see if I was completely right or if I was abysmally wrong, and makes me reevaluate how I read the book. It is kind of like a brain dump for the books that I am reading this month, which is why I can end up running out of space in these pages and continue this to the following blank pages that I have. Now that I am done with the final spread for my setup, we can now see the whole setup completed. I'm content with how my roses flowers turned out and am excited to start writing in this. My reading journal setup is now complete. I cannot wait to do my reading journal setup for March now, and thank you for watching the video and goodbye.